its heels to taunt you. But after sunlit days, one thing stays the same, rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you. But look into the lake, shimmering like smoke, rises the
Adventure awaits. At least that's what I'd like to believe. It's a good quote, but it's weird because I don't see it. It seems like adventure is less and less frequent, especially as I get older. Without adventure, the world starts to slip away with a monotonous churn of repetitive demands. It draws your attention towards the immediate, the necessary, and away from the ever-changing reality. But that's a good thing, right? We want a simple life. It's easier, it's safer, so why suffer in the name of adventure? The idea of adventure is appealing, right? I mean, as a species, we crave it, but actually, I think it goes way deeper than that. In fact, there's chemical responses in the brain to adventure. But let's put a pause on that. First, let's look at our book for a second. In a chapter where our class book talks about social media problems regarding self-image, in fact, this chapter right here, it mentions something interesting when exploring the concept. Here's what they said. To the extent that we imagine other people in ideal terms, they are successful, they post pictures of amazing adventures, and they have perfect relationships. We are likely to feel that our own lives, which we know much more accurately, don't measure up.
And that's a good point, though, because we watch TV shows, and we read books, and all of those are about adventure, some kind of adventure. So this is a mentality that is innate in humans. We want it, right? I mean, there's a lot of studies that have shown that adventure is actually really important to developing your mind.
A writing that I found that really reflected that well was a writing by eLifescience.org. They said, the ability of the brain to change in response to experience is known as structural plasticity, and it's in a tug-of-war with processes that drive neurodegeneration. To summarize it, adventure fuels us. Everything about us was derived from a learning experience that our brains considered an adventure. That's why we crave it. It allows us to grow, to change, to survive the next big event in life, and it spurs not only survival, but the ability to thrive and be happy in an ever-changing world. But it's more than just changing, because studies are showing that actually, adventure and experiencing these new things, especially with a goal in mind, releases similar endorphins to what people call the runner's high. So there's something specific about adventure that is good for people's mentality on a very fundamental level, on a level of measurable chemicals in the brain.
Which is really interesting, to me at least. I mean, think about it. A similar effect to antidepressants. That's what they called it in the article, which, that's insane to me. Like 13% of the United States population is on antidepressants. That's a crazy amount. That is a big number. There's a lot of things that have been shown to give similar benefits to antidepressants. Exercise is one of them, and apparently experiencing new things, going on adventures, is another.
Now, as much as I would love to go into exactly what adventure is and ramble on for the next 45 minutes about how great it is, we're gonna have to cut it short because this is a 5-minute video and I need to explain why this is a social problem. You see, we as a species have misinterpreted not only the importance, but the necessity of adventure. If I was to take the symbolic interactionist perspective, I would likely observe that this misinterpretation stems from a very dominant narrative that prioritizes being comfortable and avoiding risk over exploration and improvement. I mean, from a really early age, we're encouraged to take a hyper-specific path. We're taught that being different is a hindrance and that experiencing something new in an uncontrolled environment is always a negative. With our lives being carefully controlled and new experiences carefully curated, learning to adventure, within our own means is a very daunting task.
My sweetheart's piano is rat-filled.